Hello, and welcome to Funny Running Stories, where we mash out running and laughter. I'm Martise Moore, the Run Faster coach, and today I'm super excited to introduce Jeffrey Binney. Woo!
Hello, I'm finally here. I'm sorry it took so long.
Yay! Thanks for joining us today, Jeffrey. So where are you from, and how long have you been running?
Yeah, I live in Salt Lake City, Utah now. And I have been running for, I guess 8 years, 9 years, something like that.
Nice, nice. And you have a really interesting story about how you started running. Would you mind giving us a little summary?
Yeah, well, I was hitting 30, and my mom had been diagnosed with heart disease when I was a kid, 11. Um, and just as I was about to turn 30, her health started declining. And at the end of her life, she spent 3 months in the ICU waiting room.
Mm.
Or in the ICU, and I lived in the waiting room, helping my family take care of her. And there was a Trail Runner magazine subscription the hospital had, and there are all these Trail Runner magazines in the waiting room that looked like they had never been touched. But I
Uh-huh.
picked up one day, and it piqued my interest. And her health concerns were all because of her weight, and I was a good 160 pounds overweight.
Mm.
And unfortunately she passed away, but I took that opportunity to try to avoid the same fate. So that's how I got into trail running initially. It was actually a day we got some particularly bad hospital news, and I
Mm.
just went out on a whim, bought a pair of shoes, went for a trail run, and was instantly hooked.
Oh, yeah. And you actually made a documentary about your journey.
Yeah. When I'm not running, I am an actor, comedian type, and so I decided to document my mission to try to run 100 miles and lose 100 pounds. And then I wrote my first hour of stand-up storytelling about the whole experience, and the film is a juxtaposition of those two components kind of smashed together. Called
And
Once
what's it
Is
called?
Enough. Yeah, Once Is Enough, and it's available on Amazon Prime, Google Play, YouTube Rentals. I don't know, a bunch of random platforms I never heard of. If you Google Once Is Enough, all the options for watching it should pop up.
Yeah, I watched it on Amazon and it's outstanding. So I've never seen
Thank
anybody
you.
yet do that kind of storytelling before. That was really like unique, I thought, and
Oh,
funny.
thanks. Well, yeah, I coming from an acting background, all of my stand-up always tends to take the form of more humorous storytelling than
Mm-hmm.
traditional stand-up. And it was such a good tool to tell the story, because the documentary portion gets a little heavy at times. So it
Mm-hmm.
was nice as a creator, when we were creating the film, it was nice to have the option to insert a little humor in and throughout the film to kind of break up
Yeah.
the tension.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that sets us up perfectly for the funny story you're going to tell us now.
Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that well, I've never been an athlete. When I was a little kid, I was chubby. I was forced to play sports, but I never enjoyed it. There was one time in middle school I played basketball, and my coach, bless his heart, he put up with my bad attitude. But one day he lost his cool, and he pulled me out of the game. And he said, "Jeffrey, I'm putting you on the bench. I will put you back in the game when you tell me that you want to play basketball."
Mm-hmm.
And I never went back in the game because I never told him I wanted to play basketball because
Uh,
I didn't want to play basketball. So I was that kid, like very much an indoor kid,
mm-hmm.
um, not um, not athletic at all. But I decided that I was going to try to run this 100-mile ultra marathon, and it was a few weeks out from the marathon. And I went to the doctor just for a last checkup because, I mean, obviously it's hard on your body to begin with, but I had lost 100 pounds through the process of
Wow.
training. I didn't really purposefully set out just to lose weight, but, when you're running 50, 60, 70 miles a week, it's hard not to.
Right.
But I went to the doctor just for a final checkup, just to get, a final thumbs up. And I mean, to say that I have low level or high level anxiety about my heart health would be an understatement. I mean, my mom struggled with her heart health, her entire life. It was, what took her life. So it's something that's always at the forefront of my mind. But the doctor came in and did normal physical exam stuff. And then he got to my heart and he listened, and then he moved the stethoscope and listened again. And then he did the confused dog head tilt and moved the stethoscope and listened again and again and again. And finally he said, "Give me 1 second, I'll be right back," and left the room.
Oh my goodness.
And I started oh my God, this is it. It was a matter of time. I can't only imagine what's wrong, what's going to happen. And a few minutes later, it felt like an hour, but I'm sure it was just a few minutes later, he came back into the room and he had this younger guy with him. And he said, "Hey, Jeffrey, this is so-and-so. He's a resident here. Do you mind if I let him listen to your heart? It's not very often we get to listen to the heartbeat of an endurance athlete."
Oh, that's so cool.
I was like, "What did you call me?"
That's awesome.
I don't know how funny it is, but it's a story that I remembered way after the film had been made. And it was so impactful. I will never, ever forget that moment of being called an athlete. This little gay theater indoor kid from Missouri was called an endurance athlete. And I don't know. I think it's something that kind of colors. In my day job, I'm in a leadership role, and I like to remember that story because just the smallest amount of positive affirmation,
right,
can be so impactful to people.
Do you think that helped you with your race? That story?
Without question. Yeah. I mean, I still don't feel comfortable calling myself an athlete,
what?
but I mean, I know. I mean, I do, but I don't know. I'm just, I don't know.
There you go. You're officially an athlete. There you go.
Thank you. It's official. Yeah, I think it's still weird for me to be called an athlete, but it gave me such a confidence boost, and to know that all of the work that I had been doing, I mean, I knew that I had lost weight, so I could only assume that I was healthier.
Yeah.
But to know that my doctor could hear, could notice a noticeable difference in how low in a healthy way my heart rate was. Yeah, it was just so satisfying in so many ways.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. So what are you doing these days as far as running?
Well, I made this silly commitment to try to run a ultra marathon per month in 2021. I know. I don't know what I was thinking. I have a hard time. I have a hard time getting motivated if I don't have a pretty ridiculous goal. And I'm not ready to commit to another 100-miler right now, but I needed something that was, a stretch. So this first month,
the end of the month. Have you already done yours?
Well, I'm doing it on Sunday, and technically an ultra marathon is anything over a marathon distance, which is 26.2. Usually a 50K, which is 31 miles, 31 point something, 32 miles, whatever it is sort of the first recognized ultra marathon distance. But my training could have been going better. So I'm doing a very cheeky 26.3 mile run on Sunday.
Hey, that works.
Hopefully we'll end up at 27 or 28. But yeah, it's just I haven't. Well, we were just talking about how I lived in Los Angeles prior to moving to Salt Lake, and so I've never trained for long distances in the cold. I've ran in the cold tons, but never more than, 10, 15 miles. And it's been a real challenge because I'm a sweater, like a lot. I am a sweater. And the problem is, after a few hours, I'm soaked underneath my jacket, and instantly, within 3 or 4 minutes, I'm shivering, and
wow.
I'm paranoid to go into the mountains. I've been doing all my training in the city, which is not my preference, but I'm just so scared to go out into the mountains alone, because should I fall or something and not be able to keep myself warm? I mean, oh my gosh, I'd be hypothermic in less than half an hour. So it's not going well. But anyway, that's what I'm up to this year. So I'm at Jeffrey Binney on social media, and I have been sharing probably too much about the journey. So everyone can follow me there, and or check out my film, Once Is Enough.
Yeah, no, I highly recommend that people follow you on social media. It's very interesting. A lot of times it's funny. A lot of times it's just gorgeous. What is that, a drone you're using? Like, that's amazing. Some of the shots you have, like, what?
I got my commercial drone pilot's license this last year, and so
you have a license? That's awesome.
Yeah, so just having a blast with it. It is so, especially here in Utah. I mean, I know there's a lot of gorgeous places, but I'm really partial to Utah, and it's just the best way to capture these absolutely absurd landscapes here. So, and I try to. I don't know. When I first got into running, I watched every ultra running film, YouTube video, read all the books. I consumed everything that existed about ultra running, but it was all about, it was always highlighting elite athletes, the best of the best, which is amazing and so interesting. And it was so educational, but there were no films about chubby dudes trying to run 100 miles. Yeah, who can dance in the desert. And same on social media. There are a handful of us, but I don't know. I just try to keep it real on social media, because I think it's so easy to, follow quote unquote, like real runners on social media, and it looks so easy and perfect and effortless. And I don't know, maybe that's how it is for everyone else, but it's not how it is for me. So I just try to keep it as real as possible. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't.
Well, we love it. I know I do. So we'll definitely put your documentary link and your social media link in the show notes. So
awesome. Well, thanks again for having me. This was fun.
Content that you create, because it's awesome. And it's inspiring too, right? Obviously. So, and that's what we need these days, like all of us are trying to figure out how we're going to get through this. So it's a welcome.
I know. It feels like it's never going to end, doesn't it?
Source of motivation. So thank you so much. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So thank you, and good luck with your 2021 Ultra 1 a month goal.
Thanks. I'll need it. I will need your luck. So I appreciate it.
And
thanks again for having me.
Virtually.
All right. Awesome.
Okay. Bye, Jeffrey.
Bye-bye.